Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel, Reading Ideas. I've got a great reading idea for you today. The book is The Hidden Persuaders by Vance Packard. Now this book was first published in 1957 and it was, a bestseller, a sensation. Marketing, after the Second World War, consumerism, people had more money and no war, so money in their pocket. With globalization, people were getting richer across the planet and they had money to spend, and there were people eager to take their money off them. And this was an age where psychology became more involved. So it went from a feeling that people bought things because of economic reasons to thinking, well, hang on a second, there's some strange purchasing going on here. What do we need to do to make people interested in buying our products? Get people to buy our products, find out what people really want and why they're buying things. And this book was, Vance Packard was a journalist, so it was quite well written for the time. In kind of recommending having a read of it on two levels. The first is, the techniques that are mentioned in the book are not completely dated. You can see it still has, quite a bit of resonance in there, but it is a little bit dated as well. So you can read it as, a 1950s, 1960s, trip back in time. So, right, well, the inside cover. So this is on the English version. Whether we like it or not, most American habits, tastes and institutions are eventually imported into Britain. American tobacco and films, American pop songs and hairstyles, and American advertising techniques. Thus the frightening processes evolved and applied by American super advertising scientists are having an increasing effect upon the potential victims in Britain. Whether you regard the activities of the mental depth advertisers as terrifying, disquieting, highly amusing, or rather charming, you will find much to engage your conscious mind in this book. Alarming but entertaining, the Sunday Times. Monstrously edifying, Vogue. Makes George Orwell's Big Brother world sound about as blood-curdling as East Lynne. That's a sleepy town. The Daily Mail. So, yeah, The Hidden Persuaders. Yeah. The depth approach. So these are some of the chapter titles. The Trouble with People. So ad men become depth men, and the hooks are lowered. Self-images for everybody. For our secret distresses. Marketing 8 hidden needs. The built-in sexual overtone. Ooh. Back to the breast and beyond. Babes in consumer land. Class and caste in the sales room. Selling symbols to upward strivers. Cures for our hidden aversions. Coping with our pesky inner ear. The psycho-seduction of children. New frontiers for recruiting customers. Persuading us as citizens. Politics and the image builders. Moulding team players for free enterprise. The engineered yes. Care and feeding of positive thinkers. The packaged soul. In retrospect, the question of validity. The question of morality. Yeah, So this is at the introduction, the depth approach. This book is an attempt to explore a strange and rather exotic new era of modern life. It is about the way many of us are being influenced and manipulated, far more than we realise, in the patterns of our everyday lives. Large-scale efforts are being made, often with impressive success, to channel our unthinking habits, our purchasing decisions, and our thought processes by the use of insights gleaned from psychiatry and the social sciences. Typically, these efforts take place beneath our level of awareness, so that the appeals which move us are often, in a sense, hidden. It caused a sensation when it came out. Interesting social commentary of the time. Chapter 2, the trouble with people. In very few instances do people really know what they want, even when they say they do. Yeah, it's Chrysler going downhill in 1954 makes a marketing comeback. It's quite, it's an interesting read as a social commentary on the times. So ad men become death men. The businessman's hunt for sales boosters is leading him into a strange wilderness. The subconscious mind. The Wall Street Journal. Self-images for everybody. People have a terrific loyalty to their brand of cigarette, and yet in tests cannot tell it from other brands. They are smoking an image completely. I think Pepsi had that issue where they thought that their product was better, and they did blind taste tests and people said they preferred Pepsi but were still buying Coke, so they turned it into an advertising campaign. Right, drink this. 7 out of 10 of you prefer Pepsi. Yeah, but people still carried on buying Coke. It helped Pepsi, but people still carried on buying Coca-Cola. Yeah. Oops. Hang on. So this is, the built-in sexual overtone. The potency of sex as a sales promoter was not, of course, an original discovery of the depth merchandisers. Blah, 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 blah. One shortcoming of Get Your Man themes was that they frequently left the buyer disappointed and resentful. Perfume makers, in straining to outpromise each other in the early 50s with sex-drenched titles and themes, had trouble getting women to buy a second bottle when the first bottle, rich in sexual promise, had failed to deliver a satisfactory man into their arms. The Institute for Motivational Research, after exploring this problem, reported finding many women's dresses cluttered with dead enthusiasm, stale jars and open bottles, half-used boxes of cosmetics. It found that there is a dismally low rate of brand loyalty among users. It's very, very interesting read. Ad men at conventions tell the story of the wistful girl who surveyed all the passionate labels on a perfume counter and asked bashfully if the store perhaps had something for beginners. What? Oof. In 1955, more than 250 new trademarks were issued in the toilet preparation field. Another difficulty harassing the cosmetics people was that modern women were no longer bewitched by a mere get your man or sexual enchantment promise. They wanted something more, to be accepted and respected by men as partners. And that, of course, was something a little more difficult for a mere perfume manufacturer to promise. It would take thought. Wow. Yeah. It's a very interesting read for what was cutting edge at the time. The Hidden Persuaders by Vance Packard.